Okay, welcome back for the easy woodworking project today. Well, I guess you want to call it easy. It's not really that hard, just a few boards here and there. This is all made out of the cedar. This would be your fence boards, so we can stick with one type of lumber. You can build them out of the tree if you want. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, first thing you want to do is start with the flower box itself. I'll give you measurements on the flower box. I'm going to use a little bit of glue on this one. Now, let's get your measurements on your boards. So you've got two end boards here, and both end boards are 9 inches long and 4 3/4 wide. So this way would be 4 3/4 by 9 inches. We need two of those. Okay, now the long boards are 21 7/8. Okay, by the same, be 4 3/4, 4 3/4 inch wide. Now I know you're going to have a little bit of problems, so don't let it discourage you that when you put these together, because some of the boards are some thicker than the other, and some of the sides are thicker. Maybe one side might be thicker than the other side. Don't let it discourage you. Just go ahead and put it together and see what you come out with. So what we're going to do is, we have a big clamp to help us, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue on my sides. Now I'm using an 1.5 inch staples. You can use brads. You can use small nails. I'm trying to mention the things that you can use to put these together. So I'm a big fan. Of course, you should know by now I'm a big fan of using the staples. So let's get this side here. Now your board's going to be, like I said, you always look at them, they're going to be bowed. And then just kind of put that bow in like this so we can pull it in. Okay. Let's do the other side. Just like that. Okay, well, like I said, you know, when you start these, they don't have to be perfect. You do the best you can. Okay. Alright, I'll go ahead and get some staples in this side. Back out. Moved a little bit on me. On this side. Okay, now we got the box. We're going to put the bottom part of the box in. Okay? Let me move this off this side. So what we have for the bottom, and see, we got 5 of them, and these are cut 4.5 inches by 9. Okay, so we want to start with, like I said, if you look at it, make sure the bow part's down. We're going to start at the end, and then you're going to have to eye these up. I try to bring out that measurement as best I can. If you put them together, which you can add them like this. You can put them together like this, and then leave the ends open a little bit, or you can space them. Now I have a spacer, and it would probably be something like a 3/4 inch spacer to put between these. I'm not going to cut that down on the saw right now, but you can start your first one out like this, and then of course go to your second one like this. And do your third. And then your last one seems to hang over just a little bit. So if you just do it by eye, you'll probably be okay. So we're going to start the first one and go ahead and get a little bit of glue down here. And I'm still using 1.5" staples on it. I'm going to double check this, make sure that it's square. Yeah, the box looks pretty good. And then we start our next one. You just have to, like I said, just go ahead and eye it up. Just leave a little bit of a gap there. I'll shoot out the other end. Well, this one will probably work with the stick now. Last one, I'm just gonna glue down and eye it up. It should be enough to let it drain without losing. If you fill this box up full of dirt, I'm gonna put flower pots in mine. When I buy the flowers or put flowers in them, I'm just gonna use the pots itself. And that will allow me to remove them without putting all that dirt in there. Here's your box. And it's a really nice box actually. I mean, if you wanted to, you can just make the box and use it for something else. Okay, next part. Okay, I gave you guys the measurements on everything on the box, so we're going to do the next thing we're going to do is the long slats. Now, I cut these. These are all. Now I cut them all to 26 inches. So they're 26 inches this way. Okay, and then I have them 4 inches wide. Okay, now let's see. Yes. Okay, I use a spacer in between these to make this. Let me try to remember how I did it. And here's my spacer. My spacer is 3/4 of an inch. Now, like I said, just remember when you start doing these, they're going to be different sizes. Try to get them cut. Now, when we did this up here on top, okay, let me hold that up here. I measured across, and I took the center. So that would be 2 inches. And then up here, I used it ruler again. Let me see if I can turn it this way. So if I had a 2-inch and I put a 2-inch mark, I'd measure over 1 inch, measure over this way 1 inch. Okay. So let's do it again. We found the center. So the board's 4 inches, the center's 2. We measured over 1 inch, measured the other way 1 inch from that 2-inch mark, okay? And then we put 2 marks there. And then we measured down from the top straight. So if the top is straight like this, we measured down 1 inch, measured down 1 inch. And then from that mark right here, we cut it. That's how we cut it. So we cut it from the top here, where we made that mark, down to that 1 inch mark. And that should be on, I think it was on a 45. So I'm pretty sure. Because I did a couple different cuts on the other one. It was a completely different cut. And I really like the one that kind of resembles the board itself that you went and bought, the fence board. So I just kind of brung out a little bit. Now I cut a bunch of these. I think I cut a bunch of them the same. They don't have to be perfect, but you know, try to get them as close as you can. Now what we got to do, first thing we got to do is we need to measure down from the bottom up. From the bottom up. See if I can get it up here. I want you guys to see this. I made a 5-inch. I made a mark right here, 5 inches. So my legs on this thing is going to be 5 inches. So each one of these you should have some kind of mark on, measuring 5 inches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the box over, and then I'm going to start my first one. I guess let's see if I can turn it. I guess. And then put one over here just to kind of hold it for right now. So I'm going to start my first one. Alright, can you see that? I hope you guys can. Then I'm going to measure 5 inches like this. So I'll bring that down, put it right on the 5-inch mark. And you want it as close as you can, because if you don't, your legs are going to be wobbling back and forth. Okay, so we're going to bring it down like that. So we're a little tight for rooms. I need to turn it. Move some of this stuff off to the side here. So I'm hoping I give you guys the measurements right there. There's a 20. What did I say those was? 20. I think I gave you measurements on those. Just want to make sure because 26 inches long. You have to cut 5 of them like that. Actually cut 5, 6, 7 of them like that. If you cut 7 of them, 7 boards at the same time, I'll show you what to do the other 2. So let me go ahead and put a mark on here, 5 inches up. This side 5 inches. Okay. Now we're going to put some glue here. Now I'm going to have to change those staples because I've been using 1.5 inches, and we're going to drop them down to a 1-inch staple. It's going to be it's going to keep from going through those boards. You don't want them to drop down through the boards. So if I can get it here. You're going to put a staple in here. I don't know if this thing's going to be square, because you want those boards to be square on here. Wait, like this. Oh, well, it will tell you on the side. So, all right, now let me go ahead and start the next one. I'm going to have to build me a table. Been in the progress of trying to get something built like that. So I got this spacer. We're going to stick the spacer in between here. Then slide your next board over. And then I'm going to put a mark on it. Let me get it back off of here. So I put a mark on there 5 inches. Okay. A 5-inch. Let's put a little glue up here. We worked on this, trying to get these boards to sit right on there, so it wouldn't be, that spacer would work out fine. I'll give you guys the easiest measurements I can. I'm only putting a cup on it because I'm going to end up flipping it over to, and I'll staple it once I get it flipped over. There's the last one there. Measure 5 inches. Sometimes it's hard to work with these boards, because it's not like a piece of prime lumber, wood, whatever. It's not. They're good for doing probably some of the things we're doing, maybe. You know, it's just. But if you was gonna make furniture or something out of it, I don't know. I know people say they use pallets and make certain type of furniture. I don't think I'd do that. Too much work. Get that on there. Okay. Now you can see what we got. So now we need the 2 legs for the front. Pretty much do the same thing. Now I cut, these were 26 direct, well that's a nice one. Caught that one right there. These were 26 inches long. So I cut them, like I said, I cut them along with these. So they're the same board, and all I did was, I made the same measurement cuts appear on the top. All I did was cut off. What I did, I cut 14 inches. I cut 14 inches off this board here. It's a 4-inch. I think it was the same, yeah, 4-inch. So it's a 4-inch. I cut 14 inches off the bottom of 26, and that allowed allowed the rest of this here. So about 12 inches. So whatever's left, you can use them like that. So it's actually the same board. Just take 14 inches up from the bottom, cut it off, and then you got that board. So that made it pretty simple. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on these, and we need to come up 5 inches with a mark. I'm working on this side. I use, you wouldn't believe, I'll even pick up scrap boards that I've, like this one here was a piece of scrap board, and cut it up and use it. Doesn't matter. Because it all looks rough the way it is, so I mean, if you got these pieces laying around, that's great. Let's stick a little bit of glue on this. I want to see if I can do it this way. I don't know if I can or not. I don't know if I can get that staple gun in there. Let me try. Yep, there it is. Try on this side. Come on. Okay, flip it over. Go with this side. I'll put a couple staples up here. Okay. Now what we need to do is let's finish up the two supports. We're going to put them across here. Now let me see what measurements I got off the supports. I think I measured, because I want this right here in the center, so when this comes up like this, so we need that measurement. Oh, here it is. So I got, let me get that measurement here. The first board is 14, about 14 on center. So if you come up 14 inches above, so if I mark at, turn it this way a little bit here so I can see it. I'll come up here and mark 14 inches right here. Let's see if that's going to be it. It should be at the top of that. Yeah. And then the next one, I think I did in the next one. Let's see what I did on here. 7 inches off the next one. So then you come up another 7 inches here. Put another mark. Just a little. You don't want too big because you're going to see those marks. Like mine. You'll see mine. Of course, I'm making it. So you got these two pieces here. And if you want, you can go ahead and just hold them like this. Now they're not the full length. I made them come in just a little bit. You can make them full length if you like. These boards, let me see, I'll give you measurements. If you want the full length, you just take it off of here and do the full length here. So that'd be like 23 7/8. I just cut them down to 22 inches. So I just got them cut down small, and they're about 1 3/8. So they was some scrap I had back there. I did something, so I kept them. You can make them wider if you want to make them wider, or even skinny. You can get down to 1 inch or something like that. But we're just gonna move them back and forth and trying to center them up. See that one. Turn it my way a little bit. A little light now. Okay, looks good. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one. Put it back towards you guys. I'll hold it up there. And do the next one like that. That's good. Not good. Turn them over, I guess. Oh, off the board. Something like that. Now, you can still use your same spacers if you want to go ahead and stick these in between them. If I can get this in there. Something like that. Then you can put your If you want to use your spacer, that's great. Okay, now the only thing we got to put on is the arms, because I blew one right off the table there. Now all I did was set them up here and then mark them. Now they're kind of above that mark right here, something like this. Okay, so that mark that I measured up, I came up here and gave you measurements on that, above that. So make sure you put it right here above that mark. So there's a mark over here, I need to put it right there. Now I did use longer staples in this also. I went back to the 1.5 inch staple so I could get it down in the handle down in there. Is that the one? No, here's the one. Just like that. And it allowed me to take this thing and put a longer staple through the back because of that board. This board on the back here, this one here, using the 1.5 inch staple allows me to shoot that through there. This way. Okay. There you go. Just make sure when you put these on, you make sure you measure from the floor down, and it keeps it from wobbling. Because if you're off on that measurement 5 inches exactly, even if you're 1/8 of an inch or a quarter or something like that, you're going to get a wobble back and forth. So you really don't want that. So, and then I found another way to take these, and when you're using the staples and stuff. So just say for instance, like it has a gap through there, you can go ahead and put a clamp on it like this, and then go ahead and shoot a staple in it. Shoot you a couple staples in it like this here, and that'll kind of hold them back, because the way the board's going to want to bow. You just got to do what you got to do. But I got one that came through right here. I have to cut it off. But other than that, really nice thing. Now I stuck some boards down inside, so whatever planters you got, if you get them like I'm going to get them, just in round pots. And then I'm just going to fill this up with maybe 3 or 4 pots. Just kind of set them in there. Probably put a great big one if you just want to put one in. It'd be really nice. But you could put dirt in it if you want to put dirt. But I like mine with just a little easier to clean. And then once in a while, it sits outside and they turn color or something, you can just go ahead and power wash these. So because they're made out of that cedar stuff. So okay, that's it for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you'll make some and have a lot of fun doing it. So it's definitely spring's coming, flowers are blooming, and it's just time to go ahead and get them all finished up, get them placed out in your favorite place. Okay, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate it if you do, and thumbs up, that like button for me, help the channel out a lot. And you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.